and welcome to We Never Met, the podcast where I have interesting strangers on every single week. Today we have
Dan Weiss.
How you doing?
Good, man. Good. Thank you.
So you do a lot of stuff. You do multiple things. I do some things. I dabble. And where you are now is very different than sort of your past and where you came from as well. So you're born and raised here in Chicago. Mm-hmm. You started making music and rapping at what age about?
I started like making music, actually recording it and trying to figure out if I could have a career in 1998.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was like obviously very
a lifetime ago. Yeah.
Very pre Spotify and all that stuff.
Very much so. Yeah.
And so when you started out, was your dream obviously. So like what age was that when you started?
So I'm 41. So I was probably 20 years old around then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was it your like dream to be like, I'm going to be doing this full time?
Well, yeah, I wanted to do it full time, but I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. But I did want it to be a career.
Yeah.
That was for sure. I really wasn't able to find anything else to that point that drove me like music did.
Sure.
So I wanted to kind of pursue it and see, but I didn't know anything about the industry or what I was getting into at all. I just really enjoyed the process and like the experience of it.
Right. What do you think it was about the experience that you liked so much?
It was super collaborative, and I would end up meeting. I started by recruiting a bunch of random people, kind of by accident. I had just like dumb luck finding people who happened to be like minded. In where I was where I was living, and in the kind of like ironically in the coffee shop kind of work community or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
I remember seeing a couple guys. The first couple guys I met, this one guy Walter and this one guy Sam. I remember one day being in a cafe in Evanston and seeing Walter writing and being like, the guy's writing raps for sure.
Yeah.
And I just approached him and I was like, what are you up to? And he kind of told me, and I was like, that's cool. I'm like, I want to like start like a hip hop group. And at my first project, I wanted to do like a kind of like a live music meets rap thing.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't really that much of that back then.
Right.
Because this is like right around like the Black Eyed Peas and the Roots time, but like it wasn't an explosion of like live music with rap.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So anyway, I ended up kind of recruiting one by one, and friends of friends of friends kind of came together to start working, and it just felt like I was doing something.
Yeah.
With my life, with my time.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
Yeah. So from that point, you guys produced some music and created some music, but you initially weren't like the front man for that.
That's right.
You played drums.
Yeah. I mean, I started writing like little raps in high school. So, but again, just in my basement, I was a basement rapper. Right. And then I was taking like drum lessons at Columbia College at the time.
Yeah.
And so I was learning how to play drums, and really I wanted to, but I didn't know music theory to a point. I wouldn't have been able to explain like and break down like how songs are structured. I just knew I wanted to be a part of something. I could play drums. I was okay. Yeah. And I could write a little bit and rap a little bit, but I didn't have the confidence yet. The drums I could kind of get by with confidence.
Yeah.
I wasn't great, but I could play a loop or like I had the rhythms down for hip hop and what I needed to do.
Yeah.
But I didn't, I lacked confidence and like the authority to like kind of like rap and like do my thing out loud in front of people.
Yeah.
It was something that I had done a lot in private.
That's a big deal. That's hard to do. It's hard to,
especially when you suck at it, which I did.
It makes it even harder.
It makes it even harder when you stink at it. I was not very good at all, but I was clever. Yeah. And the people that ended up kind of taking it out of me were like, yeah, you're really good at writing. You're clever. You're a good writer. You just need confidence.
Yeah.
And so I was like, cool. How do I get confidence? They're like, you just got to do it over and over and over again. Like, all right.
Sounds terrible.
Right.
Is there an easier way?
You're awful, but keep doing it like as much as you can.
Keep getting in front. So you eventually started doing that, and then you started creating music by yourself, right? Or is that way further down the line?
It was further. At first, it was like this collaborative called OMU, and that was like the kind of joint collaboration with all these kids mostly from the north side, Evanston and Rogers Park, and then through kind of recording and writing and building with them, it ended up being over time that it was just like really hard, shocking to find out that it was hard to like put a band together.
Yeah.
And I did a lot with them, and we had a lot of fun, and I learned everything, and a great group of guys, but it ultimately ended up being that making music on my own as a solo recording artist once I did establish the chops and the confidence was a pathway that I could kind of just dictate. I could control and push forward. I didn't have to rely on anybody else, and it was just me. But I really did always miss and kind of long for like the working together part, the aspect of it, like the crew thing and the group thing. Actually, was that just like being in a band with people and relying on people and learning from other people. Was more fun than I had on my own. And that's why later I ended up doing a lot of collaborative stuff in the future and dated till now. Because I always kind of wanted to.
Do you think that's sort of a reflection on like why you went the coffee house route? Like you like to bring people together and you like to...
It's certainly, there's certainly something there. I think there are incredible parallels to like music and coffee for me. And we could find them really quickly and all over the place. That certainly is one of them. And I literally, started making music in coffee shops by accident, right? And then it ended up being that coffee was a business I pursued too, and the community aspect of it, the randomness of coffee, and how anything can kind of happen in these rooms in these neighborhoods was certainly a factor it has been a big factor in my life.
Yeah. And then you were touring and stuff like internationally.
Not with that early project, but as I developed and as I started putting out records with labels and on my own with bigger artists, and started to kind of work my way through like these like little subgenres of hip hop. I found ways to travel and to network and kind of get out there like that. It was I never actually left the country before music. It was like the first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I found my way out of the country from
you
got
rap. Out.
Yeah.
So do you ever like reflect and be like how different it would be if you were making music now? Like if you started, let's say you were, just starting as a kid right now in today's age, like how different that would be for you?
Yeah, I think about it all the time because I'm still really, really active in music, but I don't tour as much,
right?
And
you got other stuff.
I got other stuff, and I'm certainly going to. It's not like I'm done touring or I have a pretty strong feeling there'll be a point where I actually take music more serious than I ever did.
Oh, really?
At some point, I kind of have that feeling that it'll come back around. Not that I'm not taking it seriously now. To anyone that's listening, but
I'm taking a break.
Right. But no, I think there's been a really interesting ride. At one point I thought I could probably do music forever and just do music. And then I needed a break though at some point. It got to a point where financially and mentally I just needed more. And coffee fulfilled this interesting gap. And then the timing of coffee ended up kind of being too good to be true and to pass on. So I had to, I've been kind of juggling both.
Cause that's like cause I was reading on how that even started, and that was like an interesting sort of lead up to getting coffee.
For sure. I was putting out records and doing my thing, and it was going really well, but I lacked a stability and I wanted, and a buddy of mine at the time had started in coffee. And I had an opportunity to kind of, at no expense, kind of jump into like an ownership role at this shop called Noble Tree in Lincoln Park. So I jumped in. He needed help. He was busy. He needed a hand. I jumped in, kind of made me his partner just to like take over and fix the place. This guy just got too busy with what he was doing, and I wasn't able to save it at all. But I did learn a lot, and I did really enjoy being in that role of like owning a coffee shop. And I learned a lot there. And then from there, again, it's all about this confidence thing. Like I kind of jumped into more coffee, more different opportunities came my way. But it wasn't until I actually purchased Dollop in 2011.
Was it called? It was Kickstand?
That was Kickstand was another shop that was in between Noble Tree and Dollop.
Okay.
And same kind of partner, friend had founded Kickstand.
Okay.
We ended up not seeing eye to eye. I took over Kickstand, sold it, got out of coffee, back into music. So I had like a 3-year period where it was really, really jumbled in between coffee and music. I got out of coffee, back into music full time. And I was like, wait a minute, like I miss it. And I love coffee too. I had the opportunity to buy Dollop from another friend.
Okay.
Bought it. And I think I doubled revenue in the first year. And it was like, wait a minute, holy crap, like this is something I could do. Got confident, and then everything started kind of from there. So 2011 is when I consider my real coffee career starting.
I gotcha.
And everything before that was like practice and just kind of digging around or whatever, you know?
Yeah. So what do you think the difference was when you jumped in? I know it wasn't necessarily yours outright the first time when it kind of dwindled. Was that hard to like take? Like,
so that Noble Tree experience.
Yeah.
So that was, he was in a hole, and I was up to me to undig the shop from debt and from
that's
bad
a
from
lot.
kind of a strange reputation. I don't want to say bad, but right, it was like a shop that was losing. Vendors were owed money.
You come in and fix it.
Congratulations. Yeah, you're a business owner now, right? And so that was tough. That was really hard for me. But it wasn't a high pressure situation because again, I didn't have any financial
stake in it.
I cared, but it was more like can I help? Can I do this?
Yeah.
And I didn't screw it up. I think I got it to break even. But it actually, and who knows what would have happened, but to be honest, that partnership didn't work. And so I ended up, long story short, I wouldn't have been able to even find out if I would have been able to really push it into the black.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot, and I definitely with Dollop, it was an opportunity where there was a coffee shop that was already planted in a neighborhood. It was respected and people liked it, except it just didn't have like some really basic things going for it that nowadays you have to have. Like, for example, the place just wasn't consistently clean. The drinks weren't consistent. If a certain barista was working, I'd be in line and be like, it's coffee day. It's not latte day for me because I don't know how they're going to make that drink, right? So I was just I dove in before I bought it, and I was like looking at all these people in this neighborhood, and I was like, if this place could just be trusted, and we could just clean up 5 or 6 things, I think this is actually a special place. And it worked. It really just literally worked. I don't know how else to say it. My timing was good. There was no competition in that area in Uptown, in Buena Park or whatever it is. And it just worked. And so it was, people always are like, you should feel really good about all your success in coffee. And I'm like, I do. But the thing is my timing was exceptional.
I think that's true with a lot of things.
I think it's true about almost everything. I mean, there's things where you can just be so good at something, it doesn't matter where you are in time, right? But I'm not one of those guys. I don't know about you. You might be. Maybe you met some people like that. I'm not that talented, right? Timing in 2011, Chicago specialty coffee was still a baby, and I got in at a time where I could make an impact, and had the time and had the right energy at that moment based on who I was and what I understood about coffee. To make an impact. So I really got lucky with all that stuff, to be honest. A lot of it was lucky.
I mean, and that's true. With almost everything. It's like you could be the most talented person in the room, and if you're just there at the wrong time, it does not matter. It never.
It's so
it
true.
Sucks. Yeah. But it's good too in those situations. So how do you change like a reputation then? If like it's consistently unclean, like how do you get people to be like, come back? So it's better now.
Looking into the future and using newer experiences, there are times when you can't. And there are times when you can. With the first Dollop, it wasn't a shithole. It was just not great enough. Yes. Yeah. And so everyone was like, okay, it's Dollop. It's fine.
Yeah.
And I just made it not just fine, but like, wait a minute, they care. There's pride. They give a shit. They're doing things right. They're trained. Their machine's newer. Their couches don't have diseases anymore. It was rough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a 5 thumbs down place. It was just like a 3-star that I turned into like a 4.5.
Yeah.
And so, but again, using the future though as reference, there's places. So right now we had to close the Grind. We purchased the Grind in Lincoln Square, this little coffee shop. And I shouldn't say it was bad because it actually wasn't. It was just different, and we weren't able to keep what the strengths or negative. I couldn't make the strengths better, and the negatives were too big to overcome.
Okay.
So the place was never designed. It was just a cute mismatched coffee shop.
Yeah.
And so anybody who would walk in for the first time, they'd be like, this place is kind of mom and poppy.
Yeah.
And there's a good mom and poppy and a bad mom and poppy. The Grind.
Oh yeah.
And all the wonderful things I could say about what it was before we took it over wasn't put together in a way that said we're thoughtful in how we created this room. It just had this like special magic from the owner and who she was and how much she cared and how much it meant to the neighborhood. We couldn't keep that. We also couldn't get away with it being cute a cute coffee shop.
Right, because it just wasn't that.
So we just closed it, and we're opening as Dollop. And I'm remodeling it, and I'm going to make it cool and dollopy. And this is our place, and what we do is what we do. And I can't see that far into the future, so I can't tell you if it works. But what I can tell you is that there are times when you can't, where cleaning up something doesn't work.
Right.
And there's an essence. The original Dollop didn't have that same magic from the owner. They had hands-off owners.
Right.
This place, the grind had like this super charm that if I could have gone back, I would have told her, I'm sorry, I can't buy this from you, because when you leave, the soul leaves the body, and I won't be able to, I can't do it justice.
Yeah.
And we kind of ruined the grind, but also she didn't want the grind anymore, so she ruined the grind first. So anyway, what I should have done if I wanted to buy the grind is close it and made it Dollop to begin with. Instead, we went 2 years with it being this place that had no soul.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. It was kind of like a purgatory
or something. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Right.
So at the beginning, what did the first Dollop? Because there's actually one right over there. I drive past it to work every day on Augusta.
Yes, the bake shop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Was the first Dollop in any particular way? Because it was kind of like a 3-star place. So how'd you pick the style, and like what'd you want it to be?
Yeah, so without having any design background or whatever, all I did with the first one was I made it. We got a new espresso machine right away.
Right.
We replaced furniture. We redid tables and chairs. We kind of refinished the bar.
Right.
We just made it. We made it evident that we care and that we have a plan. And that was enough there. It's not always enough, but that was enough there. After that, I started working with a designer named Paul Lyson, who we saw eye to eye on his sort of, he had like a theater background and a lighting background. And he had a sense of like, this is how I feel like coffee is perceived best. And it has to do with a lot of subtle things that not everyone picks up on. But so where we kind of connected was like counter height needs to be low enough where there's an interaction standpoint between like your barista and your customer, and how chairs should kind of function, and how seating should function in a room, and how lighting should feel, and like little things that we just saw eye to eye on. And he had a really good sense of of textures and kind of a vision. And what we also agreed on was that each one had to be different according to where we were in the city. So we saw eye to eye on that too. So it was just kind of a really good match working with him. And so he became kind of our like in-house design guy. Yeah. And I worked closely with him on all the projects, and he did a ton of the builds too. So he would actually build furniture for the places. Cool. Yeah. So it was kind of it was a really good match and good timing. He had done design and build for Intelligentsia way before, and then had gotten out of coffee.
I'm afraid to go to that place because I heard that the caffeine is in those coffees is just insane or something.
I don't know if it's any different or not, but it's there's other reasons to be afraid if you're just, well, it's a very, very serious place. It feels serious and it's very high design, and it can be intimidating if you don't go into coffee shops all the time.
What the fuck is you walk in, everyone looks away.
Or they just stare at you. No, it's I mean, Intelligentsia is like the father. I shouldn't be, it's like, they're like,
it's my ears.
Right. No, they're one of the best to ever do it. And we all look up to everything they've ever done, to be honest. But, but he had done work with them before, and, he wanted to change in something else. And so we collaborated. That was I couldn't have done it myself. That's for sure.
Yeah. Cause it's interesting how fast you talked about timing a little bit, but like how fast it's grown. You have over 15 shops, right?
Now? Yeah, altogether we have about 20 right now in total locations in the city.
Or something?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of been like 4 a year for the past 3 years. That's kind of how it's escalated. Insane. Yeah, we've been pretty ambitious about it. I mean, we're not 20 for 20 either, but still, like we are getting up there for sure.
Yeah. So is that I mean, it's obviously because they're doing so well, correct? Right?
Something like that. That's a really nice way of. They're all so first of all, so
otherwise you couldn't grow.
That's right. That's right. They are doing well. Again, not all of them are
the same level,
massively successful. Some of them lose a little money. Some of them make money. Some of them break even. Coffee roasting has really been the key, and also baking our own. Having our own bakery. Though producing for the company has made it really worthwhile. That's kind of how the scale model works. Sure. With most anything. Yeah. So being able to supply the coffee with the coffee and the pastries has been a game changer, and that's kind of what you have to do after a certain point. Right. You can't keep paying double. $10 a pound for coffee, $11 a pound for coffee.
Yeah.
If you keep having, you can do that with, if you're a single operator, like if you wanted to open a coffee shop and you came to me and I sold you coffee for a going rate of $8, $9, $10, $11 a pound, and it was you in the shop every day and you were working, you could make your money and you could make a living and you could be very happy for yourself. But if you want to open 10 coffee shops, you got to start paying 6, 7, 5 for coffee, right?
Yeah,
you have to keep improving your margins. Same with your baked goods. Those are your two main, your food prepared and drink prepared, you know.
Yeah.
So that's been kind of a big difference.
Yeah.
At the same time, we've picked locations that were really great and that have developed over time, and we picked some that were like, oh no, what have we done? And overall, they even each other out for the most part, and that's kind of how we have to look at it as we grow. I knew very little about the behind the scenes and the business side. I knew a lot about what coffee shops meant to people and to neighborhoods.
Right.
And that's why I think I've had the real upper hand.
Right.
Is that I get what people want out of these places.
Yeah.
Because I want them really badly for myself, and I want to experience them. And so as long as it's stylish as long as coffee's a thing, people will probably want a similar vein of things that I also want and I'm providing, I think.
Yeah.
Then there's the business side and the understanding of it and how you finance the things and how you raise money and that is all shit that I've been fortunate enough to have just been hustled hard enough to kind of learn as I go. Yeah. Made a few mistakes, and done and taken and had some good opportunities with others and kind of made it all work.
Yeah. So with the roasting of like coffee beans and stuff, like that has to be a whole world. There's so many. It is.
But again, there's a team of, incredible people that I work with that love what they do to a degree that makes their work worth it for them and shows. And we're producing, I'm not just saying this, and I'll be really humble about some things, but I will say that the coffee that these guys and men and women are producing right now, it's just really, really top notch stuff. It's like really, really high quality stuff.
Yeah.
And people sometimes take it for granted and they don't understand how it's what they're doing is very, very difficult. And I have so much respect for them. We could be putting out a below average product and probably get away with it.
Yeah.
Most people do. Yeah. And we're not settling for that.
Yeah.
And everyone's driven in like a really great direction.
Yeah.
And I love the people that are driving the quality and the decisions behind the scenes for the coffee. Yeah. And it makes all the difference, Yeah. And it makes me love doing it with them.
Right.
So I think so that part is not luck.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to get passionate behind something when you're just like, let's do a neutral job. Let's do this subparly.
Yeah. Let's just like get things for cheap and then we'll sell them for not cheap and we'll hope everybody still pays that. That's not the game.
Yeah.
That's not the game. People do get away with that for sure. And, also with that said, most people in the city most roasters are producing a really decent coffee. It's not like Dollop is leagues ahead of a local other roaster.
Yeah.
It's not like that at all. Everyone's actually in the city is producing really, really good coffee. I just feel like, it's only been, we're kind of babies at the roasting part. And for us to be doing this for, really a year and 2 years at coffee roasting, I think we're really establishing ourselves fast. That's all.
Because before the 2 years, did you guys get coffee from somewhere else?
Yeah, we worked with Metropolis.
Okay.
Yeah, we were a Metropolis account.
I got you.
And who I love those guys and everything they do. And it was just time. We just outgrew buying coffee from people.
Right. So you talked about before coming back to music eventually. And is there going to be, because you, from like 2004, I think it was, to like 2016, you released an album almost like every year, which is a crazy pace.
Yeah, I was pretty busy. Well, similar to coffee.
Yeah.
There's those parallels we talked about. There's always, I have 5 projects that are done right now.
Whoa.
That I've been kind of collecting. The last time I put out an album was 2017. And with this guy in Germany named Superior, who we did an album, released it on the small label in the Netherlands called Below Sound. And it was a cool little project.
Yeah.
And it was something to do. I have like 5 finished albums. So they're all like, most of them are collaborative albums, which is really cool. So I have a couple like new groups that I've formed with other people that are going to come out. So 2020 and 2021 are going to be super busy for music for me.
Okay.
Probably have literally 5 releases will come out, 5 or 6 probably.
How do you space those out? We have an album in January.
Well, it's
then
weird
one
what's
in March.
happening. It's weird, like the genres that are like in hip hop right now. It's weird, like people put out records all the time. It's so different. It's not like one every year, one every 2 years anymore. That's almost like archaic now.
Yeah.
You know, like I think the big boys and girls still do that, right?
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
can't put out, if you're Jay-Z, you can't put out 4 albums a year.
Yeah.
But underground hip hop artists are like really, really prolific now, and they're putting out music at a faster pace and to just try to be stay relevant
right
over and over again. And we'll see what the result is soon. But the past couple of years, you've seen a lot of people be really aggressive with that.
Yeah.
So, you know, unless you're putting out crap music, I don't think you're going to burn out.
Right.
Or at least, you might not burn out.
Right. Because even though like writing that much though, do you get like, how do you come up with that much music? Do you get like writer's block? Do you get like eventually like, oh, I don't have any songs?
I'll get writer's block once in a while, but I just, it's my outlet.
Yeah.
So somehow the ridiculousness that my brain puts together has to find a way out somehow.
Yeah.
And since I'm a grown up and I don't like draw or do my art, like, how I express myself is limited.
Yeah.
It's all through music for the most part.
Yeah. Why do you think from a young age you didn't sort of go that direction? The drawing or things like that?
Any other?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just never.
I was just never good. I think that's why I didn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's that I just wasn't very good, or didn't have anybody around. But I think when I started like to explore, and I found like rap music, I think I just kind of fell in love with the storytelling part of it.
Yeah,
and I just became kind of secretly obsessed with it from when I was younger, and I always wanted to try it. And then when I kind of realized that there's not that many rules around it, and that you can kind of push and people actually care about who you are and what you have to say. Mm-hmm. And there's so many more words in rap music than there is like rock music.
Yeah.
And like singing, like think about how many words are on an average song versus like when you rap, you can say anything.
You can squeeze a lot in there.
You sure can. So I've kind of just really, I don't know. It's always like, it's still to this day, it's kind of a relief and a sense of accomplishment. Each verse is like, yeah, okay. And I feel better and I feel good. And I'm like, that was the best verse I ever wrote. And I'm like, no, it wasn't. But still, that's really good. You're still really good at this. I'm like, and I still go through this thing where I'm like, man, like, if I keep, because the thing is I feel like I keep getting better at making music. Mm-hmm. So that's why I also like, if I like regressed, or if people who like knew me were like, nah, man, you're really not as good as you once were. Like you're you're really falling off, Coffee Boy. I think if that kind of stuff started to happen, I think I would no, you're wrong. And then I would listen and be like, maybe they're right. And then I probably would. But I think actually as I have gotten older and a little bit wiser and a little more serious, but also more relaxed in some ways. Yeah. I think my style is actually like, I'm really refined right now. Yeah. And I just love doing it and love seeing what's going to be next over and over again. You know?
Yeah. And that's the perfect recipe to keep coming out with stuff if you just like love to do it.
I do.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Sometimes I stop and think, why do I actually like, what the fuck am I doing?
What is it about
why
this?
do I keep writing these verses and getting these beats and doing this whole thing and record? Like, what is the purpose behind it? What, like you said, like, why don't I find another medium? Why do I keep, and I don't know. I don't know the answer, and that's why I think I keep thinking that there's going to be I'm going to, at some point, something's going to click or something's going to happen where it's going to be like, wait a minute, someone's going to hear something and be like, you got to do more of this. And here's a way to do it. Yeah. And I'm going to say, okay, cool. Let's do it. I think. Or I'll just, keep opening coffee shops.
we'll see what happens. So do you keep like the music and the coffee stuff separate? Like is
as separate as possible? This is definitely crossing the lines. this conversation. Oh yeah. Yeah.
You don't like weave them together.
Never.
Ever?
No. And I'm definitely not like ashamed of anything I say, but sometimes I don't know. Like when I was younger, I said some stupid shit. We all do, of course. Yeah. But and now I sometimes like a group that I'm in called Ugly Heroes. We say like really powerful, positive shit about who we are and what we want to be in the universe. And I'm really proud of it. I still don't want to play it in the coffee shop though. And I also don't like it. It's a weird kind of attention also. Right. And it's weird when people find out that I do music, it always changes who they think I am in some way or something also. Which is just, it's fine. It is what it is. And it's impossible to not find that out if you work for Dollop long enough. You're like, damn, what? Holy shit. I'm sure they have some pretty amazing conversations about my videos and about how silly I am behind my back.
You're employed.
Okay. I'm sure they must. Yeah. They must just trash me. They must.
They're ruthless
right now. Yeah, they must be. But anyway, I do keep it fairly separated.
Yeah. Well, I wish I would have known that. I wouldn't have talked about any of it.
To be honest, it's fine and it's fun. And again, it always comes out one way or another.
It's interesting. Is it because people judge you because of the type of music that it is? Like, I feel like if you're like a folk singer, I don't think anyone would be like thinking that would be. Well,
the reason why I think it's always silly is that if someone finds out, they're like, "Oh, you make music," and I'm always like, "Yeah," and then I'm like, "I make rap music." Mm-hmm. And they look at me for a second. And I'm like, "What? You didn't? That's not the first thing that popped in your head when you met me?" And they're always like, "Not exactly. Not the last, but not the first." Yeah. And so I think it's that.
And you guys just opened a new shop, right? In Ravenswood?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Montrose and Paulina. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. It's going real well.
Nice. Yeah. How old is that one?
Couple weeks.
It's
a baby. Mm-hmm.
And how do you decide the neighborhoods that you want to go into? Because that's interesting to me.
Well, we're reaching kind of a saturation point, I think, in neighborhoods. Downtown, we could open one every 2 blocks, probably. Right.
Yeah.
So we're looking a lot downtown for 2020.
Yeah.
In Ravenswood, we didn't have anything, and they needed it. There's no coffee. There's nowhere that when I kind of look now, it's like where can't a coffee shop open? And then I'm like, okay, there's only one place a coffee shop could go within 3 blocks. If I can get that space, I won't have any competition. It'll be the only game in town, and we'll be okay. Not that competing is bad, but it's just harder. I mean, you just we have our space in River North. It's tough because when I looked at that space, it's Erie and Wells. We signed up to do it 4 years ago, and then now there's Pete's, Dollop, Left Coast, Limitless, Heritage.
It's like the coffee corridor.
Yeah, Real Good Juice open, and they sell coffee. It's all within 3 blocks, and it's like
way too many.
You're killing me. Like if I thought we were going to be this this special new coffee shop. And everyone's like, you are, but there's also 6 other ones. So it's harder there, and it'll take more time for it to. We believe it'll take more time for that place to grow in, and other people will probably end up. Hopefully, people will. Other people will burn out. I don't wish anybody harm, but it's a hard business. We're not going anywhere.
Right.
So hopefully we just sustain business there. Yeah. But the Montrose and Paulina location, there's just nowhere else anyone's going to open a coffee shop, I don't think.
Yeah.
And
why is that?
Well, if you look around and you look at the storefronts, first of all, you're like, where would a coffee shop look? It doesn't even look right anywhere else. I mean, you can kind of always do anything wherever you want, but there's established restaurants in these storefronts. There's other businesses. There's no corners. It's just, you could just kind of tell.
Yeah.
We got one of the only spots that I feel like is that is where a coffee shop belonged. And it used to be a coffee shop.
Okay.
So yeah, I was pretty confident doing it. And then it's right by Ravenswood School. So it's just a great community place. It's a chance to connect with them and make memories for students, kids, and parents as they grow up. It's like all shops where there's like a CPS near them are just super warm and welcoming, and it just works out better.
Yeah. So you're opening more coffee shops in the near future, probably.
Yeah, I mean 2020 is going to be busy.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, we're doing the Wormhole 2 because we own the Wormhole and we're
Park over here.
Yeah,
did not know that. I go there all the time.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah. So we're doing Wormhole 2. That's going to be at Armitage, Milwaukee Western, those three, that intersection. Okay. And we're getting the Mirthmobile from Wayne's World.
How did that get in there? How did you get that in there?
We fucking brought it in with a crazy structural engineering company. And I went and I found the Pacer, bought it, drove it in petrified fear from the suburbs.
Yeah.
At 20 miles an hour with the windows down. And just shaking with the car, me and the car shaking. And then we got it there, and then we took the engine out. I brought it to a mechanic, took the engine out, made it way less, sent it to a place to clean it and fix it. We painted it, we're decaling it, and then we mounted it to the ceiling of the place.
Yeah.
It's the thing. So that's going to open. That's kind of exciting. That'll open probably in January.
Wow. Is there other coffee shops that you own that just aren't called Dollop?
Yes.
Which ones are
we own Cafe Streets also.
Oh,
right over here.
Over here too.
Yeah, we took over that one recently in February.
Oh, wow.
We own Streets, we own Wormhole, we own New Wave in Logan Square.
I don't know that one.
It's a strange coffee shop. We own that place. And then the Grind is the one that we closed and we are reopening as Dollop. And those are like the off-brand coffee shops that we own.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's a ton.
Well,
there's a ton of Dollop ones. And then there's...
Yeah, I think there's... I want to say 14. It's weird that I don't know this. I think it's off the top of my head. I would need the internet, but I think it's 14 or 15 Dollops and like
15,
4 or 5 off-branded ones or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
Wow.
There's a bunch of coffee shops.
So it's even a bigger empire than I thought it was.
It's growing right before your eyes.
Yeah. Literally right now.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So where can people go to find out more about Dollop and stuff? Because you can get... since you guys roast, probably
you can get it from dollopcoffee.com. You can get it from the site. We send it out. You can buy like a 12-ounce bag of coffee or a 5-pound bag of coffie.
Yeah.
And then of course we do wholesale. So if like someone wants to have coffee at their restaurant from Dollop or their cafes or their offices, we do all that stuff too. And we're Dollop Coffee Co. is all the handles on Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff. And dollopcoffee.com is the website.
Yeah, it's great coffee. I've had it, so
thank you.
I enjoy it.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming on. And I also like your baked goods are really awesome.
Very tasty.
They're very well known too. I feel like
that's good.
I feel like a lot of people
that's
have
good
told
to hear.
me
That's good to hear.
to go get them.
You know, again, people care about what they do, and we've been doing it. We've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in new music coming out probably next year, it's going to be a crazy 2020 for you.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I also have, I also have 4 kids.
Yeah.
But,
so it already is a crazy year.
I just keep doing things.
Just keep doing things.
Producing children and albums and
coffee shops.
But that's it.
Those are the three things.
And
then I'm out.
Yeah, my wife definitely, is the victim of all of this.
She's sad enough.
Yeah, she's really cool, and she definitely. I think she's probably entertaining for her to watch.
To watch you try to juggle all of it.
I think she'd probably like it if I did less things.
Yeah. Did she meet you before you were doing all this stuff?
Yeah, I've been with her for years, so she's seen everything pre-coffee and post.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
she's a pretty understanding person.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome though. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks.